Hey everybody, I am following up another video with a controversial subject. The subject of why I think American car companies like Ford and General Motors should bring back all of their manufacturing back to the United States. It is pretty obvious that American car makers more than likely make their vehicles overseas because they keep cost of production low so they can rake in the big bucks. And I agree with our current administration. All car companies should move back to the United States and take care of Americans. American cars should be made in America and not just a sticker. Did you know that for over a half a century that American manufacturing dominated the globe and turned the tide in World War II? The American manufacturing also hastened the defeat of the Nazi Germany and helped rebuild Europe and Japan. It also outlasted the Soviet Empire during the Cold War. During all of this, the American manufacturing met all the material needs of the American people. Quite impressive. Life as an American was great. American icons were born from companies like General Motors, Ford, Maytag, Levi's, and Boeing. All of those were household names and was synonymous with quality and ingenuity. If you wanted something and wanted it to work right and last, then you bought American. It was what American pride was all about. Cars in the 1960s were badasses and an envy of the rest of the world. I've owned a few American classic cars that were made in this era all the way to the mid-1970s, and it lasted forever. There was a healthy competition for American companies to produce parts for American cars, and it supported jobs. There was no shortage of jobs. It was unusual to see generations of families work at the same company, and at all the while they built families and communities around these companies.
12th largest city in the world. Its river is part of the St. Lawrence Seaway. The river brings coal and iron ore to Detroit's mills and factories. And today those mills and factories are producing at an all-time high, giving Detroit an unprecedented prosperity.
I am not an economist and will never be, but I understand numbers very well. Putting it simply, car companies like Ford and General Motors make so much money by manufacturing overseas, like in China, that most companies forego quality over profit. Many would rather pay the Chinese to build their cars and sell it to the Americans for a hefty profit. What a sham. Here's a little secret for you. China has been the world's largest automaker for 9 consecutive years. In the first half of 2018, 12.23 million automobiles were sold in China, making it the world's largest market. The most popular seller is the Ford's F-Series with around 500,000 sales. No automakers would give up such a profitable market. And if American automakers moved their production back to the United States, and both China and the United States impose an additional 25% tariff on each other's import, the price of imported cars would rise by at least 30%. This would make cars imported into China from the United States extremely uncompetitive in terms of price. So Ford has a massive incentive to maintain its production in China. It is so sad how we ended up here, really. In 1965, manufacturing in America accounted for 53% of the American economy. In the 1980s, only 34%, and by mid-2000s, it plummeted to only 9%. What that means is that so many authentic American manufacturing are disappearing, and whatever else is left hanging around here or in the United States are being saved by our government via bailouts, or making their money overseas and forgetting that they exist because of the Americans. Today, we are coming to a realization that China has placed us and the rest of the world in a very bad position. Manufacturing jobs are all but gone, and instead of us making our money work for us, it is only leaving us. Yeah, it is cheaper to buy at Walmart, but that's because no one has any more money to buy because there's not a manufacturing job anywhere. Maybe it is time to reset. Call it quits with being selfish and move back to take care of Americans. Let's bring back the American pride by building quality American products like cars, motorcycles, and trucks in America. I'm talking about making it 100% in America, bolts and all. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later.